I'm thrilled to share the news that Tiger will lead the design of a short course as part of our redevelopment of the Augusta Municipal Golf Course.
Augusta National has delivered a stunning announcement that is shaking the world of professional golf. For more than 9 decades, the Masters has been known as one of the most exclusive and tradition-bound institutions in sports, where even minor changes take years of quiet deliberation. However, in a move no one anticipated, the club has chosen to rewrite its own history. Breaking away from business as usual, Augusta announced a major shift that sidelines several long-standing American fall tournaments while granting prime qualifying status to 6 international opens, some of which are unfamiliar to many casual golf fans. The decision has sent PGA Tour players scrambling, caused fall events to lose relevance, and completely overhauled the traditional qualification process for golf's most respected tournament. The reasons behind this bold risk and who stands to lose the most remain open questions, but one thing is clear. This change marks a turning point unlike anything seen before. Augusta National rarely acts lightly, as it is a club renowned for its commitment to tradition and its refusal to bend to trends or outside pressure from tours, sponsors, or players. It took until 1990 for the club to diversify its membership and until 2012 to admit women, underscoring how significant a force must be to prompt change. According to multiple golf insiders, the 2026 announcement is far more than a minor adjustment. It represents a complete overhaul of how the Masters field is assembled. This new system has already sent shockwaves through professional golf, igniting debate, confusion, and widespread speculation about the sport's future. It is not merely change, but a transformation of one of golf's most sacred traditions. Since 1933, Augusta National has guarded its customs with unmatched intensity, and the Masters defined by the green jacket ceremony, its exclusive invitation list, and its legendary course has long symbolized consistency and class. Every April, familiar rituals, blooming azaleas, and returning champions reinforce that legacy, making even the smallest modification headline-worthy. Major changes are rare, and when they occur, the entire golf world takes notice, as it did in the early 2000s when Tiger Woods' dominance forced Augusta to rethink what was possible on its storied course. These updates extending certain holes, reshaping fairways, and adding new tee boxes, were often described as tiger-proofing, and they were never just about adding distance. Their purpose was to preserve the challenge of the course and ensure the Masters continued to test the very best players in the world. That redesign set a clear precedent at Augusta. When major changes occur, it means something truly important is at stake. Now, reports suggest that another pivotal moment has arrived. For generations, the Masters invitation process followed a stable and carefully balanced formula, blending PGA Tour success, world rankings, and a small number of international exemptions. However, growing whispers throughout the sport indicate that this long-standing system may be entering a new era, and the golf world is watching closely. Historically, qualification standards evolved only through minor, deliberate adjustments, never a sweeping overhaul. Players and fans came to rely on that predictability, as Augusta National built its prestige on tradition rather than experimentation. That is precisely why the 2026 announcement has felt so jarring, signaling a shift far more dramatic than anyone expected. The new qualification system will completely reshape how players earn an invitation to the Masters. For the first time, winners of 6 National Open championships, the Scottish Open, Spanish Open, Japan Open, Hong Kong Open, Australian Open, and South African Open will receive automatic qualification to Augusta. This represents a major departure from the past, when Masters invitations were largely reserved for PGA Tour champions or players ranked among the world's elite. Under the new structure beginning in 2026, only winners of full-point PGA Tour events and these 6 designated National Opens will automatically qualify, dramatically broadening the pathway to Augusta. The impact is already being felt across the golf calendar, with reports of 10 to 20% declines in fall tournament ticket pre-sales, the loss of at least one major sponsor, and ongoing contract renegotiations as the Masters qualifying tie-in disappears from promotions. Industry insiders also point to an estimated 8% drop in late-season TV ratings in late 2025, as attention shifts toward events that now carry direct qualifying power. Some player agents are even advising clients to skip fall events altogether and focus on early season or international tournaments that offer a clearer route to Augusta. This is not merely a policy tweak but a full-scale restructuring of how professional golfers pursue the dream of wearing the green jacket, and the decision has ignited intense debate among players and fans alike, fundamentally altering competitive strategy almost overnight. Agents and players are now completely reworking their travel plans, with nearly half the field reportedly mapping out trips to places like Tokyo. Johannesburg, and Sydney months in advance to pursue new qualifying opportunities. One agent described the change as a seismic shift, explaining that the Masters qualification route is no longer about steadily collecting points at U.S. events. Instead, a single major win overseas in countries such as Spain, Japan, or Australia can instantly elevate a golfer from regional standout to international headliner. The biggest beneficiaries of this new system appear to be international professionals and emerging stars, who now have a clearer path to Augusta's global stage, while longtime PGA Tour players, especially those who depended on American fall tournaments, may lose key opportunities almost overnight. Golf fans quickly voiced their opinions online, flooding social media with hashtags like Mastersgate and OpenGate, as some praised the move as a long-overdue recognition of golf's international growth, while others criticized it for abandoning players who supported the Masters through tougher years. Rory McIlroy also weighed in, posting, "The world's best should have to prove it everywhere," a comment seen as both a challenge and an endorsement that further fueled debate over whether tradition or innovation should define the tournament's future. Behind the scenes at Augusta National, the mood was described as tense but focused, with official statements stressing unity and forward-thinking, even as insiders reported passionate discussions among members concerned about shifting away from the club's American roots, despite the undeniable appeal of expanded global audiences and sponsorships. For rising players like 22-year-old Japan Open champion Kaito Nakajima, the change is deeply personal, as a direct invitation now puts the Masters within reach, making a single October win potentially career-defining and underscoring what many see as the beginning of a new era in golf. Professional golf is entering a new era in which one breakthrough week at a national open can elevate a regional player to international recognition, but the most impactful change may be one few are openly discussing: influence within the sport. This transformation is not just about qualification or global outreach. It signals a shift in power, as Augusta National has moved the balance away from the long-standing dominance of the PGA Tour by creating direct qualification pathways through international championships. Analysts say this sends a clear message that golf's future is becoming more global, more interconnected, and less controlled by a single organizational system, marking a turning point that could reshape the competitive landscape for years. Beyond Augusta, the ripple effects are spreading quickly, with promoters in Europe and Asia adjusting prize pools, sponsorships, and course setups to attract top players chasing new master spots, while international broadcaster interest has surged, pointing to potential record viewership for upcoming national opens. Events once seen as secondary are now in the global spotlight, prompting players to rush entries and managers to negotiate new appearance fees, travel support, and sponsorship strategies as overseas play becomes a priority even for mid-tier professionals. Broadcasters and golf media outlets are also competing fiercely for expanded coverage rights, fueling what some analysts call a global bidding war for attention that is forcing U.S. tours to rethink how they present fall tournaments. Within the golf community, reactions are mixed, with some professionals celebrating a long-overdue move toward a truly international season, while others worry that the traditions that once defined the sport could gradually fade. Social feeds continue to buzz with highlight reels from overseas courses, as players post about jet lag, fresh opportunities, and fans debate whether this global expansion represents golf's next great leap forward or the beginning of even deeper divisions. Regardless of perspective, one thing is clear: the balance of power in golf is shifting, and the sport's center of gravity may never again be anchored in a single country. By mid-season, tensions between tours have become impossible to ignore, with reports of quiet, carefully polite meetings between top PGA Tour officials and Augusta representatives, each side working to protect its interests while keeping negotiations discreet, fully aware that control over player participation and qualification for the game's biggest events was at stake. Meanwhile, international tournaments are attracting a surge of new sponsors eager to align themselves with what many are calling golf's new golden route, as companies once focused solely on U.S. events pour investment into overseas competitions for global exposure. For younger golfers, the shift represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, as a breakout win in places like South Africa or Spain can now carry the same weight as a victory on American soil, fundamentally changing how the next generation plans and defines its professional careers. Caddies, coaches, and trainers are feeling the shift as much as the players, with teams that once planned around a steady U.S. season now forced to manage jet lag, climate changes, and demanding travel schedules between hemispheres, embracing what one coach called the new reality of going wherever the doors to Augusta are open. That mindset has reshaped locker room conversations from Florida to Tokyo, while fan culture is evolving just as rapidly, with highlight clips from the Japanese and Australian Opens trending online and debates raging over which national open produces the most Masters-ready competition. This surge of interest hasn't surrounded international golf in decades, and for the first time in years, the road to Augusta feels unpredictable, wide open, and truly global, underscoring why Augusta National's move is so groundbreaking. It is not merely a rule change but a full reimagining of professional golf's global structure, redrawing the map of opportunity by determining where careers can be built, which tours gain influence, and how players worldwide chase the dream of reaching the Masters. As a result, the PGA Tour's traditional fall season has reportedly lost some of its former importance, replaced by 6 major international opens that have become career-defining battlegrounds stretching from Scotland and Japan to Australia and South Africa. Across the sport, players, agents, sponsors, and executives are recalculating strategies as golf's global order shifts in real time, creating clear pathways to Augusta from 6 continents and symbolizing a new direction where global talent and opportunity converge. The Masters no longer represents tradition alone. It now redefines what tradition means in the modern era of golf, and every tee shot at the 2026 Masters will echo beyond competition, reflecting the sport's transformed global identity as the golf world waits to see how it will respond to Augusta's bold new vision.